All right, so I'm gonna log out of this account because I'm gonna log in with a non-admin account to do the builder so that people can see their functionality. I have, as an admin, I have all the functionality. So let me get that URL. I'm gonna log into my alt account, who's not an admin. Authorize. So this is old man ops RL, as in real life. This is my alt account. It's super easy to build tracks. We're gonna build a couple here. I just want to demo all the features. So I'll tell you what, I'll do a giveaway. We'll launch a raffle here. Where's my raffle button? There's my raffle button. We'll start a raffle. There we go. And let me make sure I got my instructions up. All right, how to play, build tracks. There we go. Uh-oh, they're here. All right, so there are 3 types of maps. When you first create a map, it's just a draft map. Nobody else can access it. Only the person who created the map can access it. It's just, you can create as many of those. They're not limited by any number. It's just a file on your local machine. You can actually go into the file if you find it and edit the file. And then once you want to have a map and you want other people to use your map, you're going to promote it to a community map. And then of all the maps out there, all the community maps, from time to time, when someone creates a really, really cool map, or I create a really cool map, I'll put it in the official category. Yep, see you later, people. Thanks for coming by, man. I appreciate all the gifts and the bits and everything, man. I hope you have a great day. So that's the order of it. So we're going to start a new map. And it starts off with kind of the starting area and a track segment, and it's kind of in the middle of the map. You don't have to start here, but I wanted to kind of show that there. And if you just kind of click around, all you have to do is click around to add. So adding roads is real easy. This is something that was important to me. There were some other map builders. I just thought it was pretty frustrating. We have Control Z. You can undo. You can also use the buttons up here. You can even redo if you want to. So if you accidentally Control Z too much, so you can Control Z, Control Y, and go back and forth. But if you don't want the starting area here, you can select it to navigate between. There's basically 2 modes. There is placing stuff, and then there's selecting stuff. And so you can select a track segment, and then you can just hit the delete key and delete it if you don't want to start in the middle of the map. So we'll start over here. You navigate around with WASD, and if you hold the shift key down, you'll zoom faster. And then right mouse button, you can turn the camera. So you can turn the camera with the right mouse button, WASD to navigate. I'll have a key mapper, so if people don't like the keys, they can change them, but this is just what they are now. So we're just gonna start here at the end. I gotta go back into non-select mode. So we got track segment selected. Oh, it started it there anyway. Hold on, I'll have to fix that. So it seems to always start there. I must have broke that when I added this feature. All right, I need to put that down as a bug then. Let me put my bug list. Can't move starting spot. There we go. I had that working. All right, so there is, that's the basic navigation. And then you just basically, you decide what kind of map you want. All right, we'll add a few things. If you saw on that previous map, you can go up in the air, so you don't have to stay flat on the ground. And in fact, I plan on having terrain and mountains and stuff like that. I just don't have that in there. So again, when you want to select and modify things, you hold the Alt key down, and it switches between select mode and, you know, dropping components. So basically, you drop things on the map or you select pieces on the map. So if you select the map, you can select the track in 2 pieces. You can select it like this, and then you can change some of the properties. Or if you select the end of the map, then you can raise it. So if we want like to go up in the air a little bit, we can start a ramp. And so you can just increase the height how you want. You can actually go into the ground, but that's not going to do any good. And then you can like come up in the air. So we got a little ramp up here. Now, if you go back to track segment mode, and you just click the button, it's going to take you back down to the ground automatically. So if you want to stay at that height, you can align to ground or not. And I have keyboard commands for that. So control, if you hold down control while you're selecting the map, it'll stay at that height. So the map is now at that height, as you can see, it stays at the, so if you want to keep your map at that height, just hold control key while you're clicking around, it'll keep the map at that height. Well, let's say you're also trying to keep something straight. So if you do control and shift keeps it pretty much straight as well, no matter where I click. So even if I click my mouse way over here, it'll make the piece straight. That way, if you want to guarantee you have a piece that's straight as possible, shift will do that. So we got a little bump up here, and then maybe we can have a gradual incline there. Now we're coming back down, and we can do that. And once again, I can hold shift. And so let's just say if I hold shift from here, it's still going to create a straight line. And then let's add a little curve. So we see what happens on the curve. So let's just say we don't really want people flying off the map right here. So again, go into alt mode, and you can select the track segment. And then you can put railings on either side. So this puts a railing on the left side. This one puts a railing on the right side. And then you can also, I'm not planning on having different kind of graphics for the railings, but for now, you just have like this orange one. You have the gray one I tend to like, and then kind of a sci-fi barrier one, a blue one. But I tend to do guardrail, and we'll do it on both segments here. So you can do either side, you can select it once. You can even change the thickness of it, the height, all kinds of properties of it. And then so we got a little bit of a bump. We'll add a piece, we'll add another segment over here. There we go. Now, you can add different types of components. So these are the components that came with the Kenny car kit. I'll probably organize these a little bit different. Right now they're just, oh, Citizen Spooner. Welcome in, welcome in. So I'm demoing my new game. I'm showcasing the track builder. So I'm kind of recording a little bit of a piece, so I'll probably trim this out. I just got on Squidbilly, we just started. And I'm recording the track builder because I'm releasing the track builder to some folks who said they want to build some tracks. So this is the track builder release. And so I'm kind of recording this segment. After I kind of go through demoing the track builder, then maybe we'll do a couple more races. But we've already done a couple races. So we're showcasing the track builder today. And anybody's interested in building tracks, just let me know. I don't want to be some random person. I do need to know you, seen you in streams a few times. And then they're gonna get grandfathered some track slots to permanently always have, because the track slots will cost money over time. There will be some subscriptions. Hey, Nova. So I'm going through the track building features and whatnot. So we just got done showing how track segments are. You can go back to the VOD and watch it, but I plan on clipping it out as a segment. Yep, see you later, Citizen Spooner. Hope you had a great stream. All right, so where was I at? Oh yeah, placing components. So right now it's just organized by the packages that I bought them from, but I plan on organizing them in more drop downs like, you know, road signs, buildings, etc. so forth. Hey, Wacky. So like you've seen quite often on a lot of my stuff, I have cones and things, right? So like you can put some cones in here, like whatever you want. Put some cones. All you do is you just click where you want them. You've seen the boxes. I put the boxes around. And I plan on doing some other combinations, and I plan on having movement. Hey, Nova Bunny. We're demoing the track builder because I'm releasing this today to folks to build tracks. Oh, let me change the color of that. Let me change that to guardrail. There we go. One of the things this does do, I'll let you know because I'm a save freak, it automatically saves draft copies behind the scenes. So if for whatever reason your computer crashed or whatever, you come back, let's just say you've been spinning for a while and you never click the save button, it'll only just be a couple of minutes between the last time you've done it. So you would never lose a lot of changes unless it was their actual hard drive that crashed. So you can select different stuff to put on there. I haven't gone through and put properties on everything. I need to do that. So some things you might place it and then see that it's not movable. You can custom, one of the cool things I love about what the game can do is you can customize all the properties of anything. So you go into select mode, select your thing, and then there's component properties, and there's all kinds of properties you can change. So this one's got rigid body enabled, but you can override the default settings for a component. You want to make it heavier so it's hard to move, you can. You want to change the bounciness, so when it gets hit, you want to make it more bouncy. You want to make a building bounceable, change those properties however you want. So part of the frenzy part is I want to let people create whatever map they want. They want silly physics, they can have silly physics. So like when something gets hit, how much of the friction is going to be in there? Lower friction is going to glide more, slide more. Higher friction is going to stop really, really quick. So forth and so on. You get your rotational drag. Higher, it's not going to rotate as much. Less, it's going to rotate more. So forth and so on. It tells you all that stuff. We're not going to change that. You can change the component properties. You can see because this is a little bit higher. I haven't added this feature, but that's one of the features I'm going to put is when you click on something, it'll put it to where it is on the road. But we can raise and lower stuff, so we can bring this up just a little bit. But you can also see how it kind of raised it too much. Actually, it didn't do too bad. Let's raise it a little bit more. So you can see it. It actually wasn't on there. But if you want it perfectly on the road, you can actually drag stuff around now. And then if you hold the, you can also rotate it with the mouse. If you want to do it, if you want to rotate it a lot, you can use these keys. So we'll put that there. And then let's bring it down a little bit. Oops. Where's the y-axis? There we go. See how it's still kind of off it? So if I hold control key down, I can change the y-axis as well, very finely. So I'm using the scroll mouse button here. I'm holding control and scroll mouse. All these settings are on the Discord for right now. And we can move it around in that. Or you can kind of drag it around. So all this stuff I'm talking about, it's in how to build tracks, all the shortcut commands, everything's are in there. I plan on making a tutorial to go through that you can click on and show you how to do everything. Hey Vess, what's going on? All right, so we've added something, we've moved it around, we've shown it. You can change the different stuff. We got in the low poly mega city, there are tons of buildings. And you can actually, if you want to, go inside the building. And then there's even like, I think there's chairs and tables and stuff down here. If you really want to get crazy, you can get all kinds of props and stuff. Yeah, carrots, food. You can put these on tables if you want to. Oh, let's see here. I know there's a table somewhere. What is this one? Oh, that's a light one. I haven't gone through all these and given them good names yet. We got trees, so you want to plant some trees. You can throw some trees there. And again, I didn't like the placement of that, so I can just select it and move it over. Really easy with the mouse. Where is table? Can I type table? Let's see if there's a name table. No, it's like prop, I think. Hey, Vest, thanks for stream streak. All right, here's a table. There we go. Oh, I must have deleted the building. Let's redo. Oh, what did I do? I did something. And undo and read. There we go. And let's add the tree back. There we go. And there we go. All right. So let's put a table in here in the corner. We're breaking some rocks. All right. So you can actually put a table there. So there's all kinds of stuff. I haven't gone through all these, but there's all kinds of cool things. Let's say you want a little table out here. Throw a little table out here. You want a little umbrella to go with it. You want to put the umbrella like right there, kind of make it look like it's in that. You can do that. I think people will be able to create some cool, creative stuff. Pretty much if it's an asset in the game, I'll let you put it on there. So I'm not going to go too crazy here. I just want to spend forever creating all kinds of stuff. I'm trying to make sure I showcase all the different stuff. So what do we got here? We've done Alt for toggling between select and placement mode. I've shown the track segment stuff. I've shown the component properties. I've shown moving a component around. And then also the control the scroll. So I've done the basic stuff. Let's add a few things here. Let's just make it a little bit neat. Let's get rid of the word prop here. Let's add, I think there's like a cool building here. There we go. That's a cool building. And what I like to do sometimes is you see the end of the race. Let's make it a little bit longer. Not put that there. Let's do a track segment. There we go. Is that a track segment? There we go. Make it just a little bit longer. And then what I like to do is there is some stuff, floor tiles and things. So see how we go. This is how I like to create my end segments. So let's select them, move them around, put them right there. I can hit the control key to kind of move and rotate it. Maybe do a little bit more that way. There we go. And then we'll move it back like yay. All right, there we go. Looks good enough. Good enough for government. And then we can throw a building on there. Let's see here. Let's see if we get like a gas. We'll get the gas station. We'll put a gas station on there at the end. Everybody's getting some gas. Oops. All right, let's move him like right there. Let's throw the fuel sign. So can't wait to see what people create. And then, you know what? And again, I make all things available. So if for whatever reason you want a space station in your map, you can absolutely add a space station. You want whatever you want. You can even add vehicles. So you want to show like people, some cars parked in the parking lot or something. So you can add trucks and vehicles. They're actually kind of small. So I plan on having, I need to go do a scaling pass on these because there are different packages, but you can make it a little bit bigger like that, kind of showcase it. But you can have vehicles, you can add spaceships on there if you just want them as props. Let's get the starship one. What's the starship one called? I need to change the angle of these so you can see them better. And I need to change the names of them. That look like a cool one. Look at this. What does this one look like? There we go. We'll make it a little bit bigger. Scale them up. And actually, see, some of these things, they look like, I don't know, they look like something more than a spaceship. So, complete freedom. You can change the physics of the map. So you can change the track width. Let's say you want a little bit larger track. Let's say you can do 8. And I believe apply. Let's see here. You can see how they're bigger now. It is bigger. The track width is bigger. You want a little bit lighter, you can. General race physics. So this is, I'm not going to go through every little property. You can play with them. This is the race physics. So you can change how, the cars. So, this is how I was getting the kind of the Tokyo drift stuff. The drifting of the cars was playing with these settings. This one determines how much impact of the how packed people stay together and how much it kind of changes. So if you want a lot of excitement into your race, you can definitely do that. If you're too far ahead, you'll kind of like fall back into the crowd. There's another properties you can get in there and whatnot. Max catch-up boost and stuff like that. So cars that are kind of behind will catch up to them and so forth and so on. A lot of cool properties for changing that. The drafting on. So I do have drafting in this game. So if you're buying someone, you will have some drafting. You can change those properties. The zoom commands you can change. If you want your people to have 10 zooms in a map, you can change it to 10 zooms. You do have to make sure to override it. Like the checkbox there. All these have overrides. So if you don't override it, it'll take the defaults. But you can change the number of zooms you want. You can do the bottom 10%, bottom 5%, whatever you want. You can change all the zoom properties. You can change how asteroids work. So how many bits it costs for an asteroid, maximum number of asteroids, what the impact multiplier is, so forth. The default's actually 20. So I need to have this show the defaults. And right now it doesn't show the defaults. The impact is like, I think 20 to begin with. And direction bias, whether it kind of knocks them behind or knocks them forward and so forth and so on. So a lot of properties on the asteroids can be changed. And then the vehicle timeout. So if you're off the road for a while how long do you have to be off the road before it says, hey, let's put you back on the road? And so right now the current settings are 10 seconds, and then it'll blink you for 3 seconds, and then it'll put you back onto the map. It'll blink for 2 more seconds, and then you go off and go. So basically being off the map for 10 seconds loses you an additional 5 seconds until you even get back onto the map, because you had to have been off of it for 10 seconds. Okay, so that is, let's see here. I think I've covered most of the basics. And then once you save it, you got to give it a name. We'll call it, oh man, ops, RL, I think 6. So now I've saved the map. The only person who can play this map is yourself. You have to publish it to make it in the community. To publish it though, you have to do a test run. You gotta have 80% vehicle completion. And so you like to have a map that most people can complete. And then it has to be more than 1 minute. I want you creating maps that just take 2 seconds. So we're gonna do a test run on here. So this is not a real run, we'll do a test run. So it starts off with 20 bots, it just puts bots in. And as a streamer, you actually have 2 commands. The Z command will randomly zoom somebody, which happened to be the leader. And then the B command will launch 10 asteroids. So if you just want to see how the asteroids do on the vehicles, you can just press B. You can do this during live streams too if you want. So streamers can do Z or B at any time. And you can see there, we launched some people. See where it puts Racer 13. You can see where he's blinking, and I put him there. But when you're testing, you probably don't want to do B. Yeah, and then you don't want to really do what I just did there at the asteroids, because you need to get 80% completion. So that means 18 out of the 20 racers need to complete. But this is a short map. I mean, we'll get 18 completed, because it doesn't end. Like, they just got to get there by 30 seconds or so. And let's see, the guys are all wrapping in. Look, they're going to the gas station, getting themselves some gas. Race is done. And all right, so we got a good test there. So it's going to tell you, it's going to say, hey, winning race time was this, average race time was that, and we had 20 out of 20 racers completed. So now we can actually publish. And it says this draft. Oh, wait. Oh, the winning time was less than a minute. So if you go to map properties, it'll show your last one. So the winning time wasn't long enough. All right, so all we gotta do is we gotta add some shenanigans here. So we can just make it a little bit longer. We'll do a little curve there. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. Not that. There's the end of the map. Let's do it over here. We'll add a curve and a curve. And then we'll move our, oops, and then we'll select these and we'll just move them back on over to there. We will rotate it a little bit. That changes. Oop, wrong way. I'm rotating it the wrong way. So I can see. There we go. Okay, and then we can kind of move him on up. And then we can rotate it very slightly with the mouse scroll wheel. There we go. There we go. Looks pretty good. And then we can move this guy over, move him over, rotate him a little bit. I'm using the mouse scroll wheel, holding down the shift key to get some extra zoom on the scroll. Move him over, scroll him over with the mouse scroll wheel, holding the shift key down. All right, there we go. So we moved our race. So we got to make it a little bit longer. Let's throw in, on this last one, let's throw in, oops. Alt, select the map on this curve here. Let's just select a wall. Like we want right side wall, and we'll add a guardrail there. And then we want a right side wall, guardrail. All right. That's just a graphic glitch. I got to fix that. All right. So save. All right. We're just going to run a test. You don't have to click the publish button to run a test. You can just click test. It's going through. Doing our bot race. This is how I do a lot of my races. I just run the bots real quick, see how they do. When I'm testing my code, see how it works. I don't want to do bits this time. Because I want to get a good clean run. It was a little steep for some people. That slows them down a little bit too. I mean, you can put stuff in the way. You can make the race a little bit longer. There's lots of things you can do to get the 1 minute time. Bet on bot number 7? Yeah. That would be cool. So that's a good idea. Do predictions somehow, and maybe you get something from there or whatever. Because I already have streamer bot integration. So people who got like the most predictions over the day or something like that, they get a little something. That's actually, I'm gonna make a note of that. Bet on the races. Man, I got a large list of things I want to add to the game. It's just incredible. But we're gonna keep at it. We're gonna keep adding these features. We're gonna make this cool as shit. All right, so we got some winners here. What was his running time? Well, I didn't say. I need to change the time on here. I should put the time somewhere too. Dang it, missed the race. Well, we're gonna do a race here in a little bit, Pagan. These are just, I'm just demoing. This is a bot race because to publish a map, you have to meet some certain standards so you don't create an impossible map or something. So this one, all right, so now we got our winning race time to 1 minute and 12 seconds with the average of 122, 20 out of 20 completed. So now we should be able to publish the map. Let's give it a save. It does tell you it's saved down here at the bottom. And what I do is I actually save a copy locally and then it saves it to the cloud. If it can't save it to the cloud, it'll just kind of every now and then try in the background until it does. So it's very hard to lose your work, to lose a map. I got a lot of my desired architecture stuff into here just because I hate losing work. I hate things being gone. All right, so now we should be able to publish the map. So it says, hey, you published it. Now, this is where it shows the number of slots you have. I've already published a lot on slot 1. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add another slot. So this is when the game is live, people will be able to purchase slots and they'll renew every quarter or something like that. I haven't decided, it won't be much, but I just don't want people spamming the community list with crappy maps and stuff like that. So I'm gonna go, we're gonna hop to, I don't want to change the slot 1 because there's already something on there. I need to show that. But we're gonna go to the admin page and then we're gonna go to community slots. We're gonna grab my alt account's username. Let's see here, what is his username? OldManOpsRL. All right, we're going to add him another slot. There's not much I have to do. There'll be a website feature where you can buy slots and stuff like that and have as many as you want. Like I said, the people that create maps now, and especially if you create cool maps, you're going to get grandfathered for life a certain number of slots you'll always have. Otherwise, there'll be quarterly costs to renew your slots. So we added a second slot for Old Man Ops. So hopefully this works. Publish. So now I got 2 slots. I need to change the map. He's already used 1 slot. I need to change it to where it shows you what map. So we added it, we published it to slot 2. Now there's actually 2 copies of the map. There is the draft that I just created. You can see the little overview there. And then there's the community version. So there he is. So there's the community version. It's the same map, but they now have different paths. So you can't really edit community maps, but what you can do is you can go to draft, you can edit this map, add more features. So you can go in and you were like, you know what? And we've had some problems. I really kind of like having some guardrails here. So let's put a left guardrail here. Let's add a left guardrail. Oops. Vector. Shoot. Clicked the wrong thing. We want to add a left guardrail here. And let's just add one more. Keep getting in the wrong mode. There we go. And then a left guardrail here. And we'll change that. And we'll do one more. Like this piece here. We'll add one more. All right, I want to do that. And then you save it. Now that you made changes, because you can make changes for the words, you can do something, you do have to retest it. But I'll also have the version history. So again, if you can tell, I hate losing data. So if you really messed up your map and you like the version that you had previously or one you had a while ago, you can always revert back to a previous version of a map. But we have to, I believe, this isn't a valid test. It shouldn't let me publish. We're going to test this. It shouldn't let me publish. Let's see here, publish. Yeah, the draft does not currently meet publication verification because it's a new version. So we got to run another test. And so this is the way that you can only update your own community slot. So you basically work on your drafts, and then when you like them, you publish to the number of slots that you have. And number 14 this time, yeah, that's just gonna be such a great time, especially if we do like some funny animals and stuff like that. Have some bet, like even if it's viewers joining in, we can still have you bet on viewers. Big comeback. Where is 14? 14 is last. 14 is definitely last. All right, let's get the overhead zoom. There we go. I plan on doing some more features on the overhead zoom, like not show every car, but like every third car, so you can kind of see roughly where everybody's at. And then I plan on adding text. So if you're a sub or something like that, and if you type in something in chat, I want it to show up as a speech bubble over your car or something. So you can say like, eat rubber or burn rubber or whatever you want. All right, so we made a change. We ran another test. We should be able to publish it as long as it meets our standards. We got the big space station off in the background. Everybody's at the gas station getting some gas. All right, looks like Racer Race is going to be last. Where did 14 finish? 14 finished 17th. All right, so we now got some good tests run. And we can publish. Right now, you have to remember which slot you've done. I will try to put the map name that's currently on there. But I know slot 2 was the one we used. All right, we save and exit. And so now it should have the updated thing on there. So we'll run this.